Donald Trump is getting 22% of the black vote, and she was trying to say that's because black people are too dumb to know better. So this is what the left thinks of you, blacks.
Here's the deal. Perception is reality. And so when you look at the data that was provided in this poll, it talks about how people feel. And when people decide whether they're going to the poll or whether they're not going to the poll, it's all about how you feel in that moment. And so while the facts may not align with their feelings are dictating their reality. Their reality is that they said that they feel better or they felt better when Trump was in office.
They don't.
Peace and blessings, beautiful souls, magnificent being. I'm going to break down this foolery that Jasmine Crocket is pushing forward once again. First of all, we must come to understand that the black liberal politician is perhaps the most detrimental individual towards the progression and upward mobility of black people collectively. And to compound that situation and or problem, you must come to understand this, that anytime you're pushing forth individuals in a political realm who are intentionally refrain from involving themselves in the reproduction of life, they are in no way, shape, or form situated to govern human life and or to make pertinent decisions for the growth of human life. They refuse to participate in the most important behavior known to the species, and that's the reproduction of the species. And furthermore, individuals who were black and are black and who voted for Donald Trump, for the most part, they didn't vote for Donald Trump because of Donald Trump. They voted for Donald Trump because of the policies that Donald Trump represented. I speak personally. Nothing about the Democratic policies aligned with what it is and how I carry my life. Everything they represented was diametrically opposed to what it is that I value. And this is why I voted for Donald Trump, because of specific policies that they represented. I don't believe that the Republicans are, as a collective, any better than the liberals. They have policies that are different, and those policies align with what it is that I represent on the Republican side, to the degree of the immigration issue, to the degree of the biological man and woman, Democrats not knowing the difference, to the degree that they want to push men into women's sports and allow them to compete and call that somehow compassion, somehow inclusive. They want to push the LGBTQ agenda onto children in middle school and in kindergarten, preschool, and all those elementary schools. You want to give these individuals exposure to material that you wouldn't even give to heterosexuals about heterosexual behavior when it comes to sex and things of that nature. They're backing of wars. The policies that they promoted, those black people who did vote for Trump, they were intelligent enough to see and think for the first time, many of them, that I'm not just voting for Democrat. I'm coming out of this psychological capture that the Democratic Party has over the black collective for the majority of them. And I'm going to think for myself. I'm not going to think in identity policy. I'm not politics. I'm not going to think in emotional terms with the rhetoric about Donald Trump being a racist. And again, you put forth these individuals who have not led a household as a leader of a party who is going to make laws for millions of people. That is backwards. And this is one of the reasons you will continue to lose as Democrats when you keep putting forth, especially these childless women who have never participated in marriage, running a household, who refuse to participate in even bringing life onto the earth, which is the most challenging and most difficult job in the world, to raise a child and nurture it into an adult, into prosperity. The sacrifice that is needed for that, they chose not to participate, but yet they want to govern human life. Makes no sense. Allow us to move on to AOC, another member of the Democratic Party, another member that they're pushing forward as a person that can be a leader. And she too refused to participate in the most important, intentionally, aspect of being human, which is the reproduction of life. And she too is not married. Therefore, two of the main components of development of the prerequisite that is needed in order to govern and run people, they chose to skip. And yet on a micro level, and they showed to skip that, and on a macro level, they want to govern 350 plus million lives. It makes no sense. Let's hear AOC get exposed right here. Check her out.
Yeah. She literally goes, I'm really not the expert. She
Yeah.
just gave up.
Do you think you can expand on that? Yeah, I mean, I think I'd also I am not the expert on geopolitics on this issue.
This is it. This is it.
You use the term the occupation of Palestine. What did you mean by that? I think what I meant is like the settlements that are increasing.
But she kept going before she gave up. And you're supposed to know about that if you're going to talk about that. It's not that hard to educate yourself on it.
Palestinians are experiencing difficulty in access to their housing and homes.
That lady, by the way, knew exactly what she was doing.
Oh, of course. She goes, oh, I'm going to expose this chick.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm talking about. They sound good, and they're actually attractive women, but they have not engaged in the necessary requirements in order to lead, guide, and to bring forth prosperity for millions of people when it comes to politics. They are handpicked for the most part. They are being ran by their white liberal politician puppet masters. These are the individuals who ideology that they have taken on. And Malcolm X said it at one time that the white liberal politician is the most hypocritical of the politicians. But I say in this day and time, the black liberal politician is the most hypocritical politician on the planet, and they are the most dangerous and detrimental to black progress, and it has shown itself over and over again. But black people have been made so emotional, so scarred by the past aggressions, the past oppression, and the past hate that was levied against our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, etc., that we can't see beyond that in order to see what it is that we're truly up against today, which is the black liberal politician who is actually making your situation, many of you who still vote in that way and who are impoverished, making your situation that much worse. They are the worst representatives for you, but yet you continue to vote identity politics with emotion, not critically thinking and weighing what the outcomes have been. And the outcome is this: your community, the inner city communities, they are worse off today than they were in the 1960s and 50s under real oppression, under real Jim Crowism, under real government keeping black people down intentionally. Now you don't have that. You are your own worst enemy, and you are perpetuating the death and destruction and the regression of any type of black liberation that many people think or talk about. You are not in line with that at all. You are part of keeping blacks stuck collectively at the bottom of every social metric in society. And 2025 racism, systematic injustice, those are not the things that are keeping you down. Bad behaviors, bad habits that have been embraced and glorified are the keys to keeping you in that static, stuck position that you're in 2025. And those politicians that represent you continue to push the victim mentality and by default continue to keep you at the bottom, and you will remain at the bottom while they, the politicians, those black ones, and I'm pretty sure on the right side, they are getting wealthy as well. But I'm talking specifically about these black liberal politicians. Their wealth is increasing exponentially while their districts continue to be crime ridden, continue to be lacking of jobs and real opportunity. And you holler about racism while you're getting rich. I'm talking about these political black liberal politicians who wealth, if you check, it exponentially increases the longer they stay in that position of keeping you down and keeping you dependent or hoping for the government to change your condition when you're doing nothing to change your condition yourself. And they continue to promote that you depend on the government. You are being victimized. You are being oppressed when they don't ever check you on the ratchet behavior that you are pushing forth and that you have embraced. And this is why, again, the black liberal politician is the worst politician in the American government by far, bar none. Have a beautiful day. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a beautiful day. Peace.